Sit back, relax, put your belt on, and enjoy the show.
Right, and for the main course this week, we have round 4 of Super Rugby Trans Tasman. And look, guys, I think the stat that I wanted to start with was last week we missed a trick. It was paying $107,000 for $1 to back all the Aussie sides 1 to 12.
So close.
Imagine how rich we could have been.
Yeah, I mean, $107,000 richer.
What I want to know is how much money are you guys putting on this? Are you losing on this every week? That's what I want to know.
$1. This week.
Don't believe you.
This week, we're down to only $70,000 on sports bet with your power boost for 1 to 12 all Aussies. We're not sponsored, so you can use any company you like, but that's the one that I was looking at.
So that's where these boys choose to lose their money.
No. I look for the best odds.
So what you're saying is this week you have to put on $1.50, and you win basically the 107K.
Yeah, that's right. But look, I just think I can only see that one way, and that's sports bets getting a huge increase in confidence in the Aussie sides.
Yeah, definitely. It's unquestionable.
So that's a good bet, I reckon, 70 grand.
No.
just no.
Okay, look, game 1 to start with. I did realize as well, we didn't record last week because we're sick, and I'm looking at the new camera, and we look incredibly ill. We're not actually this pale.
Aren't we?
No.
You guys are pretty white, I'm not going to lie.
Mate, you look pink, though, so...
Well, I've actually been sick all week, so I'm the one who should look...
There you go. Okay, look, guys. Crusaders versus the Western Force. The new injuries to report, we got Quinton Strange with a neck injury. He got ruled out pre-game. You got Brody McAllister and Ethan Blackadder, who were both ruled out with concussion. And Rob Kearney as well. We believe he was concussed. He was taken off for an HIA right at the end of the game. We don't actually know for sure if it was a failed HIA.
You mean Rob Kearney? Is that who you mean? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what he means.
That's what I said.
He said Kearney. But look, that's
same thing.
That's fine. In terms of the returns column, we've got Braden Enowa. He got pulled last week just before the match started, which is a bit of surprise for everyone. Now, if we jump across, and you can see on our screen here, we've got all the lineups.
If you're watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, we've got George Bower rested with Tamati Williams to come in at loose head prop for the start.
Biggest man in the world, Tamati Williams. Thank you.
Enormous.
Can we start a separate podcast for me to talk about Tamati Williams, please?
No, thank you.
Tamati Williams. We can. I'm just not going to be part of it.
Yeah, Mitch Dunshea, he gets a start again with Whitelock actually not in the squad at all this week. I think with being rested protocols, of their own. We've got Richie Moonga, who has earned himself a rest with Fergus Burke coming in at 10. David Havili returns at 12 over Dallas McLeod. Braden Enowa, as I said, returns at 13, shifting Fainga Anuku back to the left wing. Severis is also rested, so Manasa Mateli moves from the left wing to the right wing. And we also see Tom Sanders returning from his injury to the bench.
It's good to see Severis bench and me not care because I'm not in finals this week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, there's still Lester Fainganuku and Manasa Mateli.
And no Richie Monger as well. That's massive.
That's big.
Mind you, how good was Fergus Burke's crossfield kick on the weekend to Will Jordan for one of their late tries?
When you got 100, you take your chances.
It was still a shit-hot kick.
Mate, Fergus Burke, I mean, where's Brett Cameron gone? He's just disappeared. So Fergus Burke is probably the next best fly half in Australia. You know what I mean? Just so it's...
In Australia?
In New Zealand, you mean?
I just mean he's probably better than literally every fly half in Australia because he's the second or third.
Not with Will Harrison, my boy. Look, fourth lineup. Let's go to the other side. You got Faleti Katu'u returning to the starting jersey, which demotes Andrew Reddy to the bench. You got Oliver Callan coming into the number 8 jersey over every logical choice.
I was just going to say, you said that with far too much enthusiasm and excitement. So,
look, I mean,
I said every logical choice, mate.
I read an article today saying young gun gets his start. So I don't know who he is.
Does his family own or have a large amount of shares in the press or something? Because that's the only logical explanation for this.
That's right. He's a minor. Tavita, we'll come back to him, but Tavita Kurandrani returns to the starting 13 jersey, which obviously shores up their defensive line as well. This pushes Richard Kahui out to the left wing, and Oluwafella then gets to have a rest, realising that he hasn't got quite the pace of Kahui. He's going to make his impact late in the game when everyone else is a bit more tired. And Jack Strawn back in at 15, replacing Rob Kearney.
Nice. Well done. I was waiting for it. Good.
Thank you.
Well done.
You'd think I know after he played his squillion test matches, but Obviously, it was a concussion based off of that. Yep.
Or they've seen the light and said he doesn't do that much for them.
Can you tell us any more about Olivier?
No, I can't. It says he is good. So we'll see how we go.
So basically, no one knows anything about him. That's great.
Cool story, and that we've definitely talked about him too long. But all right, about this game, Crusaders have scored on average 49.33 points in Super Rugby Trans Tasman, whilst only letting in 28.33 points.
Good news for the Crusaders. Their average defense is going to get better after this game.
Yeah. I mean,
28 points is a lot, mate. That's a lot for the Crusaders.
As I was reading that, I was like, that seems like a lot of points they're letting in.
Mate, that's a start. I think they've had 29, 28, 28 scored against them. Tar's got 28.
My first thought was the point in the wrong place? Was it meant to be 2.83 points per game or something? That's what I was thinking. But no, you're right. Absolutely. We've talked about it. The Force just lack a whole bunch of offense. So can't see them scoring a lot against the Crusaders. Can see the Crusaders scoring a lot against the Force, though, I must say.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is going to be a shellacking in my books. The Force, look, their first couple of games against the Chiefs and Highlanders, they were relatively close games in WA. And as soon as they've gone offshore, they've moved across to New Zealand. They got a 7-0 try hiding. Absolute walloping 43-6 by the Canes in Napier. So if we're going off that, they're going to struggle this week.
Yeah, look, I think the other thing is that we probably haven't mentioned yet. These Kiwi sides are
good at footy,
flogging teams week in, week out, and are probably bouncing back relatively well in all seriousness. The Aussie sides are getting a hiding, having to back up to get another hiding, then backing up to get another hiding. This is tough. This is like they're playing club rugby 5 weeks in a row, and the Aussie sides are playing test matches 5 weeks in a row. It really is. It's going to be really hard for them in this 4th and 5th week, especially for the lower sides in Australia, the lower 3 sides, I think, to compete. I think it's going to be a real tough slog.
Lower 3 sides, that's the Rebels, the Force, and the Brumbies at the moment, isn't it?
Sure.
It's true. Imagine the Force last week against the Hurricanes. It's like, don't worry, boys. We've only got the Crusaders in Christchurch next week. No biggie.
Rough.
Yeah.
Poor guys. So, look, Cargie, if the Force are able to do this, what are they going to have to do?
Well, they're not. So
I felt funny even asking.
Save you some time there. But
one thing I would say is the scrum. Surely they need to target that with young Tamati Williams. I know he's a big unit, but I mean, you've got Madrano, who's a test player, and you've got Tom Robinson, who's arguably the best loose head in the country right now. He's been.
I'd calm down on that, mate.
I would definitely not say that. Like, it's just rubbish.
What do you mean?
He's arguing.
Have you heard of a bloke named Angus Bell? Have you heard of him?
You know Angus Bell?
In the scrum, I think he hasn't been as good.
Mate, I'm glad that you've never been a front rower, Harry, because you've got no idea what you're talking about.
Tom Robinson has been the best loose head scrummager.
What about Slipper?
That's definitely incorrect.
Injured, man. He hasn't played for 4 weeks. Slipper has been the best, but he's not around.
I think
Tom Robinson's been very, very good in the scrum. Anyway,
I think the 4 scrum wasn't as solid as you think last week.
It's been great every week.
Well, look, how about this? I'll tell you how many points I think the Crusaders are going to score, and I'll give you my tip for this game, because that's far more exciting. I'm going to say the Crusaders are going to win this game, or the score in this game will be about 45-6. I'll give the Force 2 penalty goals.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Do you think they're going to drop their average scoring rate this week?
They've got no more to be said.
You've got a really good point. I've gone too low, haven't I? 55 points to 6. There we go.
Yeah, that's probably pretty close to it, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm gonna back Cargie's first. Say 40. What did you say?
I said 45-6, but straight up.
I'm gonna say 45-6.
All right.
50, no more.
52-10. The West.
Oh, what's this extra credit for the Force you're giving you?
Who gets it?
Is Miotti going to kick some drop goals or something? Is that what's going to happen?
Mate, your maths can't be that good.
Nah, look, I think if they get 1 try, my money would probably be on Faleti Katu'u just to burrow over from close. He's been in pretty good form with the ball in hand.
He has been. That's fair.
Yeah, nice.